Alright, hey guys. I'm just doing a video here to show how I solved a problem I was having. Try to explain it as I can. It's a little complicated. Basically, I'm doing a model port in MMD Dance, MMD. So I have a model that I wanted to put into there. So I exported the PMX, and the thing is I wanted to add a lot of things together with it. So I ended up writing it, separate PMX files. So I have like different accessories and stuff that are going to be together with the model. So I used the PMX editor, which is what we use to edit the PMX files and stuff like that. And I use the merge function, so that allows me to open up another model and combine it. So I ended up combining a lot of models, ended up having a million polygons. It didn't work out. Had to do some more editing, and anyway, things got out of control. I had a lot of textures and a lot of PMX files laying around, and now I want to start getting ready to organize these things to share it to people to get some testing done on them or whatever, reviews done on them, or even help done on them because some of the things I don't have worked out yet. And it's hard for me to pack everything up because the folder is like well over a gigabyte. I'm just not going to send that to a buddy. So I need to cull or remove the stuff that I don't need. So I needed a feature to copy only the resources that the one PMX file that I had used to combine everything into. Everything that's linked to that, I want to copy that over to a new destination. So I had to solve a problem for resource copying. And the other thing was, after I copied it, I didn't really like the look of things. There's just too many files everywhere, so I wanted to reorganize them, and I wanted the PMX to find the new locations automatically, and then write those new locations in the in the file, so I didn't have to do them manually. So, for example, I'll show you this one. I've copied over the PMX from this folder, which is on a different drive, it's on the H drive, over to this folder, which is the K drive. Okay, um, and I have the textures in a different folder directory. And so when I open up the file, the model doesn't get textured; it's just white, and that's because it's looking for textures that don't exist there. They're in a different path. Okay. So anyway, I'll show you I'll step you through here and I'll show you what the converter does. It's still really beta. I'm having a couple errors with it still, and I haven't solved. Um, I don't know. If it works for me, then I'll probably just leave it there. Um, if people are interested in, then I don't know, we'll more beta test and get those things kinked out. But anyway, how this is going to work is I'm going to copy the textures from this directory to that directory, but using one of the models from here, its links are going to be copied to over here. So I think I already have it opened up in here. We're going to H drive, opening up the model that I'm working on there, and we're going to copy all its resources to this directory over here, which is on a different drive letter. So this is K, and that's H. Okay, so the model on H, all its textures that are on H are going to be copied to a different directory. It just happens to be on this one, it's on the K drive. So I'm going to hit convert. It's going to say that the copying feature is enabled, and after copying, it should say if you want to convert your model, press again. Basically, I distinguished, I didn't want it to copy and then also do the model conversion because I'm having some timing issues. So you can see over here, these textures, they're actually not supposed to be there. They're actually supposed to be in a subdirectory in textures. So texture is supposed to have a swimsuit thing. I don't know what's causing this error. I haven't figured it out yet. But if you basically reboot, not reboot your computer, but you just restart, it seems to fix it. I'm not really sure why. So I gotta debug that. Anyway, it throws this error sometimes if it can't copy. It will tell you what didn't copy. So it says, warning, textures failed to copy. See the log. The log's not going to open up automatically, but the log is going to be saved with the same name as the model file you opened up. So in this case, it's over here. Last modified. and it shows you certain files that were not able to get copied. So you could find them and then add them into your directory if needed. Okay. Anyway, so now I've done it the second time. You can see that like the textures are now where they're supposed to be. Again, I'm still trying to work on why that's happening. Because of its kind of sporadic nature, maybe I just forgot to initialize something, but I have no idea on how to trace the error back. Sometimes it works, sometimes it don't. It's really friggin' weird. Anyway, so this is copied correctly, but anyway, you would want to reorganize these in some fashion, and so I've already gone ahead and done that, so I'm just going to delete these anyway. It's just showing you the feature there. So in this folder tree here, I can go back. You can see I've created a whole folder tree that I settled on. So I want to have the game folder, then I want to have the characters in there, and then I want to have the textures in a separate folder, and I want to have those in their own subcategories. And so this one is actually in a different folder path altogether than the actual model. So it's actually over here. Yeah. So that's challenging because we have to then locate the textures and put them somewhere else. So what I've done is I've taken this path and I've pasted it into the search directories. So in this feature here, repair paths, we have this button here. It's going to bring up the table, and you can paste in all the directories that would otherwise contain your textures that it could look to find things. Now I made it work so that it searches all subdirectories and all files in the subdirectories so that it's more simple. So you can just direct this at a single folder that you know in that folder somewhere your stuff is. Like let's say you could direct it at your desktop. It will just search your whole desktop, find your shit. Okay, it could be dangerous because let's say you just put it on your C drive. It's going to search the entire C drive. It's going to like freeze your computer or something. So don't do something like that. But yeah, you can type in multiple paths where you suspect your textures are in, you know, and it will search and find them in those particular paths. The only caveat issue with this feature is if you have textures in different folders. Let's say you have folder 1 and folder 2, and in this folder 1 you have a thing called image.jpg, and then in folder 2 you have another picture. It's different texture, but it's called the same thing, image.jpg. It's going to try and look up by the file name, and it's going to pick the wrong one because they have the same file name. So that's the only issue with that. So as long as your names are discrete, that means they all have different file names. It will search in folder paths and find them in, you know, different folder paths and relink them. So I know I'll show you that what that's going to look like. Right now we have this one here. I'm going to target this one, which is over here, and I'm just trying to open up the PMX editor to show you that it's, you know, the textures are broken. It's just showing as a weight model here. Close this. So I'm going to do the path, repair paths. It's going to look into this folder and all the subfolders to kind of relink and find those textures. I'm going to hit convert now. And what it's going to do is going to open up this, load it into memory, find all those paths, and then it's going to write a new file. So now it has this new file here. Open up that, and voila, we're going to have textures on the model. So it's going to relink all those textures. So you can see we have the model there. Now, if you look at the materials, it's done a relative path. I don't know if you can see it in here, but it goes back a directory and then up the directory chain to find that texture. So it's pretty great for my needs of keeping things organized and in a folder tree that's still relative. But I don't know, its case use is pretty limited. Because I mean, most people will just be doing small projects, probably mostly porting, or if they're doing custom work, then you know they're usually doing, you know, a few textures, or they're very organized with textures anyway to begin with. They're not dealing with, because I'm porting, I'm dealing with many subfiles and stuff like that, and so it's where my complexity is coming into being. So I doubt that's going to convey over to other people. But anyway, those are the two features that I added to this thing. The texture copy, I don't know if I'm going to be around to fixing that because I don't know how to trace the error, but um, kind of semi-works, so works well enough for my purposes, so I'm glad that at least I got that programmed in there. It was a pain in the ass, actually, because doing Windows file operations is kind of annoying. You have to use their API, and the API is a little bit rigid, I would say. So anyway, that's it. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions or something like that, of course leave it on my leave me a note on DeviantArt or hit the Discord, join the Discord and hit me up there. All right, later. Take care.